Alright, Void Month is over. Welcome back everyone. It's nice to see you. You're looking really well. That actually went by a lot faster than I was anticipating it. This chapter came out of the blue for me a little bit. How about you? Were you chomping at the bit for more One Piece? Did you have a break? Did you go watch other theories? What was it like for you? What have you been up to? We've been treated to another one of these 10 out of 10 chapters that Oda has just been churning out recently. I swear, since leaving Wano, I've just been so excited for every single individual chapter of One Piece. I've loved Egghead and the mystery, the murder mystery there. These last 7 to 10 chapters, especially with the Reverie with Hachinosu, these last 7 to 10 chapters have been just especially phenomenal though. I'm loving it. So now is where I tell you that if you haven't read chapter 1087, go read it right now because I'll be spoiling it in its entirety. So go on, I'll wait here. Alright, Capybara Onsen.
Capybara, 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 capybara.
I usually just skip over these cover pages, but who doesn't love a capybara? There's actually a capybara cafe near where I live in Japan, which I haven't actually checked out yet. I should really get around to that. It's also great to see Ace again, no matter what he's doing. But anyway, onto the chapter. Now this chapter is focused completely on the raid on the raid on Hachinosu, or Pirate Island, by Garp and his marines. If you remember, the officers of Garp's ship had infiltrated the island and helped with an escape attempt to rescue Koby along with a bunch of civilians. So Garp enters the fray from the sky with a galactic punch to knock out 1 million useless fodder pirates from Blackbeard's crew, but let's be honest, the real fight is between the captains of Blackbeard's fleet and the officers on Garp's ship, and mainly Garp himself. Garp's officers probably can't stand up to the Titanic captains, but then again, the Titanic captains can't really stand up to Garp. The only, the real fight that's happening here is between Garp and Aokiji. So let's talk about Koby for a little bit. Now, you really let me down, dude. In this chapter, all he's doing is whinging, he's huffing and puffing, he's making excuses, he's making mistakes. We wanted him to grow up to become a rival of Luffy, like the Garp to Luffy's Roger. We've seen him use some amazing haki, some incredible rock-shiki techniques, all without a devil fruit. But here, he's just fumbled the bag so bad. At this stage of the story, I really want to be seeing Koby gain a feat, maybe landing a huge hit on a Titanic captain. Not one-shotting any of them, but maybe hitting him so hard that they acknowledge it, or something funny happens, there's a reaction. In this chapter, Garp hits Sanwon Wolf so hard that he goes flying off the island. I want Koby to get a feat along the same lines as that. Maybe hitting Vasco shot so hard in the stomach that he vomits. Maybe he could complain that it sobered him up or something. Or pile driving someone so hard into the ground that Pizarro goes ouch as he feels it through the island through the means of his fruit. Having these sort of sooky, whiny mistakes from Koby, I get it, he has his character arc, he's going from this sooky, whiny, powerless person and he's going to become super powerful, but having these mistakes, it really makes me think that he may not be the guy at the end of the story for Luffy. Maybe he's not going to be who we all kind of want him to be. Maybe he's just going to be some other kind of plot device for Luffy. The fact that Koby's well-intentioned yet still quite ignorant mistake led to Garp being stabbed through the stomach really makes me think something though. If something ends up happening to Garp, which I think we all agree that this looks like where Oda is, steering the story, he's going to get captured Marineford style, I hope to God he doesn't get killed. I really hope this can be a chance for Luffy to forgive himself and for redeem himself for what happened to Ace, what he clearly blames himself for. He can fix this by saving Garp. But back to Koby. If something were to happen to Garp, then perhaps that can be the catalyst for Koby to really kick his training up to the next gear. Really give him a huge power boost and motivation to take everything to the next level. Maybe he'll start hitting the battleship bags, and I'll explain what they are in a second, and getting his own physical stats through the roof. Now Garp in this battle, in this raid, he doesn't ever really look uncertain of himself or, what's going on. However, in the last panel where he says justice will prevail, he looks old and, fairly beaten up. He's not grinning for once. He's got bruises and blood all over his face. You can see wrinkles. You can see the age on him. He's not the man he once was. Then in the middle of the chapter, there are panels where you see he's lost his navy jacket and his overcoat that he had when he first arrived at Hachinosu. His ties come loose, his shirt is ripped, so it looks like he's taken some hits. He's been touched up a few times here and there. When he gets stabbed through the guts by Shiryu, his left hand is straight away grabbing onto the Invisible Man. He's on guard. He punches him at point blank range, straight down into the earth. Like, imagine copping a full blast punch from Garp. And what happens? Shiryu looks up at him and he smiles. He smiles. Like, sure, he's got blood pouring out of his nose and his mouth, but he's smiling. And it's right after this, one of the fodder pirates of Blackbeard's crew, he yells out, "Oi, Garp's been stabbed, he's weakened now." And I guess we can take comments like these as indicators to the exact effect of the katana through his belly. Like, I think it's Oda's way of literally telling us, okay, Garp has suffered a serious wound right now, so you all know he's not at 100%. And now we're seeing all the captains of Blackbeard's fleet join the fray as Garp is in this, like, weakened state. Vasco shot Shiryu, Aokiji, they're all aiming for Garp right now, and he's oh my god, he's taking them all on as well. Like, holy crap. It just hit me again what Garp is actually doing right now, how he's just soloing all these guys. Pizarro's there too, but he's focusing on Garp's ship right now, like he's not actually attacking Garp. Whenever I see Pizarro uses fruit, the island fruit, I just think of all the collateral damage that him just moving around with his hands and legs like in island form. Imagine all the people that are dying and being flung around, all the buildings that are getting destroyed. So anyway, let's touch base on this flashback really quick. We head over to a random Navy-owned ship graveyard that's near G1, one of the Navy bases. And you can see two massive, rusty old Navy warships that are huge in scale compared to the two like normal-sized Marines that are standing before them. And they also have these fist-shaped dents in them, massive fist-shaped dents. I wonder what's happened here. These battleships were used as punching bags by Garp and his then apprentice Aokiji for decades. There was one rule about the battleship punching bags, and that is no haki and no devil fruit powers. Young Aokiji here even says, "I can't even use haki yet," which gives us another indication of just how long ago this training started. Like, you can see Garp and how young he is. He's got black hair, no wrinkles, he's very young. He's not nowhere near prime yet. When they both started this training, they were making these tiny sounds as their fists hit the battleships, like a whap whap sort of sound. But as they grew stronger, older, grew into their bodies and kept training, their sounds became a resounding doom, doom, doom. And the Marine who's acting as the narrator in this moment points out that for these guys, their strength is not something they were born with, like, Edward Weevil or Kaido or someone. It came with hard work, with determination, with dedication, stubbornness, and an ability to push and push and push and get stronger and, surpass your limits over and over and over again. These guys worked really hard with grit, with no power they were born with to get to where they are now at the top of the pecking order. So the point of this flashback is two things really. One, it shows the training resume of these top tier guys like Garp and Aokiji and explains that when you take a punch from either one of them raw, without haki, it's going to be hard enough they can completely invert the hull of a heavily armored battleship. You add in, haki, Conqueror's haki or a devil fruit to that mix, or you add that sort of physical power into a devil fruit attack, and it is terrifying power we're talking about now. The second thing we're getting shown in this flashback is the relationship between Garp and Aokiji. They trained next to each other daily for decades. Garp inspired Aokiji, and Aokiji was someone who was there when Garp heard about Dragon becoming a revolutionary, when he heard about Luffy becoming a pirate. These guys have been close to each other for a long time, and it's not just for training, because we see Garp asking Aokiji to hang out and drink tea and eat biscuits with him, and also because we've seen the way that Garp treats and cares for his apprentices and officers aboard his ship. We know that he builds a proper relationship with them, we know that he actually cares for him. And this is what makes it so much harder to watch, or maybe so much more interesting to watch, when Garp and Aokiji are fighting at Hachinosu. Right after we get all this history of the two of them training and meeting each other, making their punches monstrously strong together, we see them straight punch each other in the face as hard as they can at the same time. Now, this is after Garp has been stabbed in the stomach, so he's weaker. And also, Aokiji uses Ice Glove, uses his Devil Fruit to wrap his hand in ice before he punches Garp in the face to make his punch stronger. So Garp's weaker, Aokiji's making his punch stronger. So it's a bit stacked in Aokiji's favor at this point. Still, the feedback from these guys punching is like a bomb going off, and they're both sent flying. You also see the black lightning of Conqueror's Haki showing up as they hit each other. We still don't know Aokiji's motivations. I'm on the team where I hope that he's undercover, deep undercover, with Garp's approval, like maybe even his input, who knows. He has lines like, "I told you that I can't let you leave, Garp," and that can be interpreted in a few different ways. Me being biased, I want it to mean, "I can't let you leave because Blackbeard will get suspicious of me. He'll know that I let you go." But this is another one we're just going to have to kind of wait for a while to see where it goes at this point. Aokiji tells the fodder pirates to bugger off in this chapter. They don't stand a chance against Garp, even if he had, no arms, no legs, or, his arms and legs were tied up. And this is right after the stabbing. And it could be interpreted that he means the other captains too. Is that because he thinks, shit, now, after Garp's been stabbed in the guts, maybe they can actually do some damage to him or potentially kill him? Is it because he wants to be the one to fight Garp? Maybe because he knows he won't kill Garp. Maybe he can do a little sleight of hand to chuck some ice on his stab wound. I don't know if ice is going to be fixing a stab wound, but maybe you could cover it up like an anti-cauterized wound, like fill it full of ice. But anyway, guys, because the whole chapter's just in one spot, it's a fairly short chapter review, so that's going to wrap it up. I think from here on out, I'll try and wait for the official releases before I post anything. Seeing stuff like Garp saying, "My son is a revolutionary," where if anyone isn't aware, I'll try and go over it really quick. There's a theory on Luffy's mum being Garp's daughter, not Luffy's dad being Garp's son. So instead of it being Garp and then Dragon and then Luffy, it would be Garp and then Luffy's mum and then Luffy. But this line makes it sound like Dragon is in fact Garp's son. I won't go into it too much right now because it is a massive theory. My point is, it's probably better to get these official translations when statements like this are being thrown around. So if you have watched this far, first off, thank you. And second off, please say hey in the comments. Leave a like, even share this video to one of your friends if they enjoy reading One Piece as well. Anyway, thank you for hanging out. Have an awesome week, and I will see you next time.